Hi, I'm Erica.
Hi, I'm Lynn. And today we are going to show you the Windy quilt, which is behind us.
Yes, love this quilt. It's made with some great solids by Robert Kaufman.
Right, and this whole quilt is based off of the turnstile block right here, which is a very traditional block, but in this case, as you mentioned, it's done in these great modern colors.
Right, and it gives you the appearance of having set your blocks on point without having to actually set your blocks on point, which is another fun aspect of it.
So it's pretty, the quarter units are pretty easy. It's just a half square with 2 quarter squares.
Right.
But I think this is a great beginner quilt, and we're going to show you why with AccuQuilt dies.
That's right.
But it also, yeah, because you do get that on-point look, it's great for beginners to do a little bit more what looks like a complicated quilt that's pretty easy.
Right, and we've made this one with our 9-inch cube, but because our dies are numbered the same in all of our cubes, you could make this with any size of cube and get a completely different look.
That's right. Okay, so should we show how to cut this?
Let's cut something.
All right, so you need 2 dies in your 9-inch cube. We've got shape number 3 and shape number 4.
Okay.
Okay, and again, if you want to use any of your sized cubes, it'll be those same 2 shapes.
Those same 2 shapes, right.
Okay, so with our quarter square, what we're going to do is we're going to place our fabric with our right sides together, because that way we can go right to our sewing machine. And we do have the Go Big cutter today, so we are going to run both dies through at the same time.
Which is really fun. And another great time saver.
That's right, but all of these 6x6 dies that come in those size cubes are compatible with your Go Baby or your Go cutter as well.
Right.
And so then these are the 2 half squares, and we are going to use a width of fabric strip to cut these, because we need so many of
right,
that.
We need so many.
With the white fabric.
We can have those done in no time, Lynn.
Right. So I'm just going to actually fan fold these. And I do have my fabric on the lengthwise grain.
And we prepped our strip to be just about a 1/4 inch wider than our shape on either side, so that we don't have waste, but we're getting a great cut every time. And we're now going to have a die race here to see who gets through first.
Who do you think's going to win?
I don't know. I'm going to pick the quarter square.
Okay. Oh, I think you're going to be right.
I think so, but not just by a hair.
All right. And then I'm pressing and sliding. And then I'm going to hand those to you, Erica.
Now, this square can get a little complex only with the layout. So we've got a sample square here, and this is something that I like to do when I'm making a quilt, just so that I know that I'm doing it right every time. Actually, these are all the same square, so I'm going to check my layout with my quarter square just to make sure, because I'm going to want it to be laid out like this. So I just double checked myself to make sure that I'm putting it together correctly. With the quarter squares, that can be a little bit more challenging. So I'm going to go ahead and sew that together. And Lynn, can you talk a little bit about our dog-eared corners?
Sure. So what I want to point out with all of our triangles are designed like this, where we have the dog-eared corner is already cut off for you. So what that does is it gives you this 1/4 inch seam allowance right there, and then it also gives you a starting point, for sewing. And so it just makes it so easy. And for those of you, most of us, who have cut half squares or quarter squares with a rotary cutter, then you know that our way makes it so much easier than cutting it the more traditional way.
It really does. Now what I did was go ahead, set my seam, and press that to the dark side. And then to finish off the block, I'm going to take that half square triangle, put that together. It would sew on to that side. So if we can set that out, and again, I can use my sample block here and know that I've got it just right. I can take that to the sewing machine and go ahead, and we will have that all put together. And because of those dog-eared corners, we've saved ourselves a lot of trimming on that, Lynn.
Well, and it's great how you've sewn those 2 quarter squares together, but they match right back up with that half square.
Absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely.
It can't get any easier than that.
It really can't. And the other little benefit of that dog-eared corner, if you will, is that it shows you where your 1/4 inch seam allowance is. So that if you've got your sewing machine set wrong every once in a while, that can be a real little advantage to you as a reminder that you need to set your 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, and I'm going to give that a quick press so that it lays out for us so that we can see it looking all pretty together. And again, because I've got my sample here, I can make sure that it matches up. We've got these two sewed together. We would simply sew these two blocks together, Lynn,
right.
Press it out, and then sew them all together to make our block.
All right, it seems pretty easy to me. I just love this, and I think that do this as a beginner or have some fun with it, even if
Really
you're a more
could.
advanced quilter.
Absolutely.